Oh, I am now recording the meeting of the meeting like nature. There's many things people would like to go over from what I've gathered. Um, on my end of things, still just doing updates. Nothing too major. My focus this week had been shifted to more of the factional updates and the like, so nothing too big on the structures or the equipment guide. But it's there. It's a thing. Um, three of the factions are now up to date with the rank-based adjustments, so that should be good to go. I've already announced them on World Anvil, so we can get those out on the patch notes, and we'll be all sorts of set. Now let me adjust the mic then, because I am on my headset now. How about now? Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. All right. Just as a recap, since the audio was kind of shite, um, this week I haven't been working on the structures or the equipment stuff too much because of my focus on the uh, factional updates as well as some other small stuff like sending out some documents to Kate, some documents out towards what did I send again? It's been a lot of like minor things I've been sending out. I did go over a whole bunch of questions and stuff during my workday Thursday, Friday. So that was another big thing I was doing. Anyways, not too much to update on my end. So mostly the meeting was for those who wanted to discuss things uh, outside of that, since I know we had some post-its in Nomad Council about topics for the meeting. So, um, at that notice, is there anything anyone would like to bring up? Things to note down, things to discuss? I figured as such, yeah. So I know Sithams is not able to be here because they're running a game, and they were wanting to learn about the primogens and the like. Yeah, feel free to present systems.
I mean, I could read it.
That works. I also just scroll up since it is here.
Oh.
Let's see. More primer on primogen stuff for me, primarily in regards to active regions. If a write-up's not possible, then a narrative goal of primogens are for the world, i.e. leaving behind ancient tech ruins, just was happening before people destroyed greater threats, etc., etc. So essentially what they are for purposes of the game. Um, oh yeah, that was the thing I did. I forgot about that. Um, before I go over the system things. Um, the full GM friend slot. Are people how do people feel about that? I have it listed up on World Anvil already, just so I can get the community feedback as well. But I want to get an idea of peeps here as well. And if everything's good here, then we can just say it's live, and that can go into effect right here and now. But
So I was fine with it. It's just the DMs, like the point of it being an improvement is that they can gift another slot to someone else.
So
of their choosing.
so one slot for them and then one slot for another.
Yes, because DM shouldn't be losing out on playing the game.
Gotcha, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay,
Because
that's an easy update.
otherwise that's a side buff instead of a buff.
Yeah, that's an easy update.
Well, well, the problem with that is now we're essentially getting 8 people.
No, they would choose one out of the 5 that they create or 6 that they create. So we would get 4 randoms and then one for the GM.
Yeah, because previously it is currently uh, 5 slots per GM. This would be 4 slots per GM with one additional slot that the GM chooses, if they wish. Otherwise, it's the standard 5. Yeah, and the 6-player minimum is listed on the description for the friend slot.
Because just changing like, hey, I don't want my slot, so give it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little different.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, it is an easy adjustment, and I'll update the page to make that clear. But since there is some thought there, is there any other concern, reasons why this should not be the case? All right, waiting for JT's response. And as for GM applications, I don't think it's ever closed since we opened it the first time. So, give another announcement. Yeah, definitely. Make sure people are aware that it's open. We're looking for people. Yeah, one of the other big updates that I've listed is those slots that are gained from like the DM slot or the GM friendo slot. Uh, those ones do not need to wait for a player wave to occur. They just automatically trigger. So that player-based staff ratio shouldn't be too much concern for right now, since we're not going to be having a player wave anytime soon. But it is notable. It also gives the GM a choice of playing as an adventurer or as a civilian if they prefer one or the other. But it seems like, in that case, there's no other objections, so we can officially announce that one in patch notes and whatnot. Make it clear that is good to go. Regarding the Primogen stuff, I can produce a write-up, no problem. It's not super high priority, but if people want it to be a high priority, I can put it up there. Um, Current, I believe we already have in lore document a general overview of the Primogens already. It might be in the redacted lore document that we have, but it's there. I know I went over it with peeps a while back. Um, in terms of the living world aspect for the Primogens, they are basically Atlanteans in nature. They're this ancient civilization, super high tech, that disappeared without a trace. So, Atlantean, Dwemer from Elder Scrolls, just this mysterious civilization, super high tech, that just vanished. Um, how they vanished is redacted, but we can go over that in a non-public meeting, since that is story-based and not mechanic-based, the like. So I don't want to, you know, that's one of the things where prefer to be uh, behind closed doors because it's a story and not, you know, public. Yeah, but I can provide the team that information if they need it. It should also be on the lore documents as well. So. Yep, that sounds about right. I mean, mhm. But yeah, no. As an overall thing, the Primogens are basically Drummer Atlantean, whole shebang and whatnot, and they have some super powerful tech. So if you do use them and use like a Primogen Ruin, uh, be aware that their tech level ranges from classical Bronze Age all the way up to spacefaring. So be careful what you provide. Though, to be fair, if you do provide something that's space age tech, it's very unlikely the players will be able to utilize it, other than like, oh, this is just a magic item. It's like a magic wand. Because at a certain point, technology becomes essentially magic in nature. So, but you know, it's a thing. I mean, if you give a classical population a toaster, they're gonna be, what the fuck is this? What does this do? So, you know, just be aware. Outside of that, let me go look at the next bullet point that they gave. Select more official co-heads for Eldiria. So if anyone wants to sign on as a co-head for Eldiria, very shiny, get with myself, Legacy, and we can get that all squared away. If there's multiple people wanting to sign on for that, uh, and we only need like one person, then we might have an election. But otherwise, yeah, if you have interest, we can just slap you on to the role. Faction release with what we have available. Yes, so the three factions that are currently up to date with the most recent rules are good to be released. They are good to be fully utilized as they are written. Unless there's anything would like to adjust with them that is currently listed.
One thing that I wanted to bring up, if we are moving forward,
Mm.
uh, can we get a final ruling on returning retired characters?
Yeah,
Because we've discussed it in DM side, and then we've discussed it. Now we've discussed it in player side as well,
yeah,
and everybody seems to be okay with it. It's just determining kind of like what are the rules behind it.
yes. So let me go see how much of the player side I've read so far. I know I've been reading some of it. Um, okay, it's still one of the ones that I've been reading through, but I haven't finished reading through. I do think we're good to give it a go ahead. Like everyone seems to be pretty much on board with it. At least the vast majority are on board with it. Um, do need to adjust the official ruling for it, which is, I'd say, one of the ideas I liked the most would have been the reduced to beginning of tier.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So while we get an official write up for that, which will probably be released next week, uh, just assume that it is going to take place. I just wanted to have a write up on World Anvil so people can see it. But consider that one to be going live soon. But it'll probably be a bringing back retired characters equals current character is retired or dead, depending on how you need to make a new character, and the character that you're bringing back from retirement is brought back at the current tier minimum entry. And at base experience for that tier. So if you're like tier 2, you come in at level 5, which I believe is 100 experience, or maybe it's 60 experience. I haven't looked at it in a bit. Any which ways, you'd be coming back in at the minimum level XP required to hit that level. Yeah, and in terms of items of the like, retired characters would come back with what they had on them at time of retirement, unless there was items that would have been lost for purposes of retirement. So, like if they were forced retired by becoming a corrupted individual, and then players saved them from like a personal quest to bring them back from the brink, but throughout the adventure they lost some of their items, they would come back with whatever they had, sans the lost items, as an example. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that while I scroll up to look at the other questions that wanted to be brought up? Yeah, a lot of that's just old stuff that we've already gone over. I think a lot of people are dealing with one of Bill's messes, to be fair. Regardless, anything anyone else would like to bring up? Things to note, things to discuss. Alright. Regarding the character sheets, how they currently list prices and whatnot, I'm just going to adjust what it says on World Anvil so those are one-to-one accurate rather than going through every single sheet and adjusting them to be accurate to World Anvil. Apparently I forgot to update it when I sent out the sheet, so we're just gonna do that. I'm not going to do so until the next downtime drop, though, simply because I don't want anyone for the current upkeep phase, since they have until the downtime drop, to initiate their upkeep. I don't want anyone who has not done so yet to be punished because of my being a banana and forgetting to update the character sheet. So it's going to be a bit more expensive in the future for next upkeep phase, but next upkeep phase, our economy should hopefully be on a better track because today I'm probably going to be updating the mission documents to be listing some spicier reward options. So people should be getting more money from quests and the like, as well as some side things like that. So plans are in the works. Yeah, no. For number 5, that's all good to go. That's the plan. I'm we're good to just release the 3 that are already finished and ready to go. As a side note, while I wait for Legacy's response, for some reason my microphone was set to 50% volume, which is why I was so quiet at the beginning.
That makes sense because I had to turn you up 50%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, why default to 50% volume? That's just strange. You know. Anyways. Um, magic consumables and reagents are. I'm just going to go and quickly make sure I'm not speaking out my ass by looking at the shopping sheet real quick. Don't mind me. Okay, I'm going to go to mechanics and rules because it's not on the recently updated. Okay, I thought so. Um, consumables, magical items, reagents all fall under magic items for purposes of purchasing, at least from the downtime shop activity. So you need to spend at least 3 days to do anything of that nature, because 3 days is required for poor tier 1 and lower. Alchemical items, however, even though they are made with mundane, they are considered mundane because tier 0 is not really magic. It uses the enchanting system for creation, but it's literally just like, hey, see that ginger root? I'm going to use that to make a potion of stomach settling. Yeah, it's purely mundane. So
I can't believe they're doctors.
exactly. So yeah.
And I've been burning Alchemist at the stake for years.
All right. Any other questions? Anything else to discuss? Also, to confirm later, since faction rework is out, that faction benefits and clean packages are now active. Of the 3 that have been listed, so the Sarkhan Seekers, the Halatak, and the Skysworn, these 3 are now fully released. Their packages, their base equipment options, their cost of upkeep, all these things are now active. all other ones, until they have been released as such, they just have the ability to join them. And a flavor, quote unquote, not really usable item, but it is there. The faction signifier is still technically given, it just doesn't do anything. Yep, yep. I remember that in our private discussions. That still looks pretty accurate to me. Yep. I would also add on that regional teams can use the regional channel to discuss things as well. They don't need to do it during general meetings. Or via a suggestion form, they can do it in their proper personal region channel. But other than that, everything else up there looks good.
Are we doing the whole little separate Discord thing for factions?
I don't think we need to, since we have access to forums now. Like, we already have a couple placeholders in our region channels. I think Eldiria is one of the ones now. Dolder?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
Dolder. So Dolder has FA-Nocturnal Dawn, so it's already a placeholder for the faction channel. But
Okay.
with forums added in, we can actually just add one forum channel, which will be like Dolder factions, and then each one of those can have a forum post for the faction, which should save us plenty of channel space.
Now that I have the layout for the new balances forms, I'll have the Dawn done today.
Nice, very nice.
As for the thing you sent me, it didn't have the finished subclasses, so I couldn't really add anything.
No worries. I can finish the subclasses in that case. Feel free to work on more mutations then, and you can send them those my way.
Yeah, like the mutations were fine, but the subclasses only had the table, so I couldn't add anything
Yeah,
to change it.
yeah. The
So I was like, well,
tables were all just like ability names, so I knew
yeah,
flavor wise what I wanted to do with them.
yeah, that's fine. No, I can add more. The only problem is I want to avoid some mutations due to phobias.
Mm, mm,
Like while some type of spider stuff sounds nice, I don't want that to hinder a game because someone can't function.
yeah. If the phobia is like say spiders,
Yeah,
um, as long as it is not overly descriptive, it should be fine because we do have ettercaps as a playable race.
Hmm.
But like if there's something
I,
like a spider swarm and the spider swarm is like very descriptive on how it produces, I would avoid that. But if it's like, oh, you have the ability to spin webs, I think that's fine.
yeah,
Because I mean, it could be a silkworm too.
right. I'll just there were some on the previous Chimera mutations that we couldn't implement due to phobias
Yeah, that makes
and the
sense.
way they were presented. And we want people to have fun games and not be freaked out.
Yeah.
And then I'll get around to Joki's faction at some point. It's
Mm,
not it's not on the top priority right now till things get fixed.
yeah. No worries, no worries. And eventually I might get to it too if it's
Yeah.
yeah. Tailor of how players and staff get things implemented into the game. Players research interacting with the world, spending influence, prestige, suggestion forum posts for things that like. Those would be the ways a player can personally impact the world via the first couple options of research, interacting with the world, influence, prestige. While suggestion forums and forum posts for like homebrew, hey, I would like this to be added. Those are more of like, hey, I'd like this mechanical thing added in, or hey, this mechanical thing that's currently in place, or hey, this thing that's currently in place, whether it's mechanical or story based. I think this could work better. Would be better for a suggestion form, as you have listed there. So yeah, that's pretty accurate. For staff side of things, self-contained, yeah, you can just make it. As always, if you, it's good to have collaboration, especially if it might expand later on to collab with your region head or myself as adventure director. Um, Overall, though, you're free to do a lot of things, so I don't really want to hinder storylines, especially if it is self-contained. Um, Peer review is always helpful. Getting it looked at from other people's helpful, so you know it's good to get that checked out, but it's not required. If it is something that will alter things, so like it would trigger a war between Eldiria and Marussia, that's already seeming like it's going to happen regardless of what's been going on due to player actions and whatnot. Um, then make sure you get with the region heads of those two particular regions or the like. Otherwise, you know, you you should be good. Just keep that in mind. Um, Alright, the above proposed suggestions in suggestion form.
Oh, uh, just to make sure for the that was the I forget.
Now, while you try to remember, for the proposal, um, that's certainly an issue for the suggestion forum. Uh, if they were suggesting actual write-ups, if they give us a write-up, yes, do use the forum over the forum post, but preferably use the forum post first as a region-wide discussion, because I mean it's going to need a discussion regardless. So already having that done helps get figure out all the like the minor issues with the suggestion and whatnot as well. So forum post to suggestion box form can then be looked at in greater detail. But like I will read through all the suggestion box posts, suggestion forum posts, and from there I've made multiple different changes and made new homebrew from them. So they work. It's just, as you say with the problem, they're not as cohesive. It's sometimes get lost in translation. So yeah.
For this, it was for the second. Are they supposed to be in Dolder?
Say again?
For the Sarkin Seekers, are they supposed? Is it supposed to say
No, no.
Dolder? Okay, because that's going to cause some PvP.
Yeah, that was just a typo.
No, you're fine. Because I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's going to cause some PvP.
Yeah, no, I copied pasted that one from
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Any which ways, it'll be fixed. Mhm. Totally. I'm just reading through Legacy's posts at the bottom now. No objections from my face. But I do imagine next week we'll probably have to have a region meeting as well, so we might need to have that extra hour early. So keep that in mind. For storylines, yeah. Things are about to get spicy. Mm-hmm. Any which ways. That is what I have to note. Anything anyone else would like to bring up? Things to discuss?
Ice cute.
It's true.
We'll have two part-time GMs, so that's more people to run games.
Nice.
Assuming we make an announcement and get more people, that is more people for games. I will preface that we do need more full-time DMs.
Yes. I've been
Like,
shelling up my streams as well.
yeah.
Try to get us more staff, more GMs.
Like while part-time GMs do help, and they help a lot because it gives people games, we do need more full-time DMs because full-time DMs are what gets people in longer
Mm-hmm.
games.
Indeed. Hopefully, with the
It
additional benefit that part-time GMs gain, that
no.
will help get us more part-time as well. But yeah, we'll see what we can get.
Don't get it wrong. Like we do appreciate everybody, but full DMs do get us more people
It's true.
in the end.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to be connecting with other communities as
Yeah.
well. It's in the works. Just getting things set up and all that in that regard. But yeah, definitely more full-time GMs, more GMs in general, more staff in general. But full-time GMs are a big priority, I'd say, right now. Anyways, anything else to note? Things to discuss? It's true. And with the automation going on with downtime and whatnot, and the additional staff to help out with the downtime, the only real backlog we have right now is research, and it's mostly on my end. So I need to just take a week or something like that just to go through all that.
I would. Speaking of research, I've been seeing a lot of like multi-question research.
Let's see here. Do we have a rule for that?
We do.
I'm pretty sure you're only allowed to ask a certain amount of things in research, not a backlog of what's this, what's how, what's in a who, where, what, when.
So it research is over a given subject. So if it's all pertaining to the single subject, then it is viable. Otherwise, um, just cancel it. Now, if it is, I'm going to spend 12 days in this one post, or 20 days, because we changed it to be 10 days minimum, in this one post, and I'm going to be researching two different subjects with those 20 days, I think that's fine. Just saves them from having to post twice. But if it is, I'm going to spend 10 days and I want to research, say, the dragons of Ildyria and the dungeons of, I don't know, Perugia, and then the just randomly cupcakes and bakery goods in Dolidor, then that's obviously three different subjects. So that would be declined. But if it is, I'm spending 20 days with one subject being Dragons of Ildyria and the other subject being Dungeons of Perugia, that's fine. Because that's obviously 10 days per subject.
I'm gonna save you a bunch of time. They're made of people.
Nice. Hey, there is the cupcake Warforged there, by the way.
Mm.
So you know they're made of people.
Oh my god.
We're starting to get some Warforged made from some sugar and spice and everything nice.
Not before I kill Duke.
Anyways, good stuff. Good things to note. Anything else to note? Things to discuss? It seems to be not the case from Legacy side of things, at least. It was probably from a previous meeting. We'll just have to scroll up for next time. Make sure it's listed. Where's the 7 days base thing you're talking about?
I just thinking there's 7 days based on gathering info or research, like to even do that task, and then you add the days on top of it for each +2, and then at that threshold they get more stuff basically per how high they pump those stats. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Now, the numbers were just weird for me because I was only looking at researching, not gather information. So I was like, what's with the 7? I don't.
That might be why I'm thinking of it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all good if it's one subject. I think that makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For gather information, if you're gathering information on a subject, then that's obviously just going to be gathering on that one subject. So you need to spend those days additional cop. From looks of World of, it says at least 6 days. So every 6 days would be a new subject if you want to do it that way. Or you can do, say, like 8 and 6. So if you wanted the extra 2 days to give you the +2 bonus on the first subject, that'd be fine. Players would just need to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're listing. For gathering of rumors, it is also listed as 6 days from looks of it, as I have it open right now. Rumors are also generally going to be subject based, but they're subject more for the location that they're being gathered in. So you might be gathering information in, say, Scourge for rumors, and then rumors would generate from that city. So, like, what rumors might be common in that area. So that one's not as limited. You could just do the traditional 6 days and then +2 per. Unless you're like, hey, I want to gather information for rumors in Scourge and Karstein, in which case, 6 and 6. I mean, it certainly would be helpful to make our tracking and notations of downtime options singular, but I don't particularly mind research being saving the time to have to post a whole new document if you have the days and you do it properly. If you don't do it properly, then they're just going to be canceled. I mean, if people want it to be a singular period end of discussion, that's fine too. But I don't personally mind if it's separated as long as it follows the rule set. They are
You
hefty
think
days.
you think that's bad, Fritz? You haven't seen player backgrounds.
It's true. I've read them all. Every single one of
some
them.
of some of those are 3-page Google Docs, by the way.
Some of them are more.
Not
Yeah.
mine.
Yes. From the looks of it, we're closing in on things now. Before we call things, is there anything anyone else would like to discuss? Things to bring up?
Well, I guess you want to do suggestion forms or suggestion box. Yeah.
Good thing mod is clear. Very good. See, my mistake was not plugging in my computer when I started this. But we're so close, I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. Upkeep feedback from community. Is that a forum post? Because
Yeah.
a lot of the upkeep. No, that is one I'm still need to go over. Yeah. A lot of the feedback I have taken, but there's been new posts since then, so I need to go over it again to see what needs to be adjusted and what not. Survival spells affecting upkeep. I did notice that. It is in the looks. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking into how I want to mechanically adjust this. If anyone else has ideas, feel free to slam them my way. If you have like an actual write-up of like, hey, plant growth will do this, then feel free to send it my way. Mass scheduling spreadsheet. I did notice that one. That one is going to take a lot of finagling, I feel. So if tech can figure out how to make that, shiny, excellent, golden. Otherwise, there are better programs out there that can do it, but in smaller groups. So, yeah. It'd be super helpful if we can get it made. But because, unless it's like coded in with a similar tool set that, like, say, CrabFit has, I don't know how useful it will be in certain circumstances. Like, if we can get it to work, golden, perfect. But yeah, keep that in mind for tech if they can make us a mass scheduling spreadsheet, one that functions, that can easily be adjusted by players. Adventurer and Alchemist professions conflicting with PC type Adventurer and class Alchemist. So that one, things can be renamed. It's not too difficult to rename them. I don't really have good alternative names for certain things.
Murder Hobo and Drug Lord are my favorite.
I did notice those, yes. I think for now, until we can get some proper good adjustment names, so maybe next major update, we can just keep them as is. But have like a running tally of name suggestions and, go from there. I did notice the Hermit self-sufficient lifestyle, and I do like that. I did read through the entirety of that one. I believe I marked it as pending, just because I was waiting for more things. Yeah, I marked it as pending. So that one, I have it marked as pending because I was waiting for the next downtime, or next downtime drop, time jump, because I didn't want people to feel like they were cheated out of this option or anything like that. I want the current upkeep phase's expenditures be spent before we drop it. Otherwise, I'm just going to add it. So,
Like I pointed out in the thing, it only works for 3 of the 4 countries.
yeah, no, it does. It does have issues. The big thing there would be you would have a requirement of must be within X and must have X feature or Y feature. So you must be within, Eldiria, Borussia, or Logos. Must have proficiency in survival or expertise in survival and one of these other options. So essentially, there'll be requirements for this particular thing, which does open the doorway for us to have other upkeep options that similarly have requirements but have their own unique benefits. So.
I will point out that the reason it doesn't work is because there's nowhere safe on the island, and I'm not going to roll every day on that table
It's
for
only 30
everybody.
times.
No, you don't understand. I have to roll 4 options 30 times.
Let me do my isekai anime. I get dropped into the middle of, Deathland.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the econ suggestions as well. I did notice some forum posts down there as well for econ side of things. But here we go. Anything anyone else would like to bring up? Things to discuss. All right. Yep. As soon as I say it. Tis true. It is a cursed existence, truly. It'll eventually come up. Regardless, though, that should be the meeting. Appreciate everyone showing up. Appreciate everyone helping out. All the good stuff in that regard. Next week should have a meeting. Should also be a spicy one. Extra long, probably, just because of the region side of things as well. It's true. It's true. I just need to get the patch notes made up. And, yeah. That's good stuff. I'm going to close out the recording here. Blah, blah, blah.